You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
Do you think a good bumper sticker for an electric car would be, "I'm not tailgating, I just need to get to a charging station"?
Might go.
Might be a good pillow.
Yeah.
I always think that when I'm tailgated by, like, a Tesla. Dude, there's no charging station around here, man.
If you're
I know
being
you're rushed.
tailgated...
It's like when you have to go to the bathroom real bad and you got to get home.
If you're getting tailgated by a Tesla, that's sad.
when I'm on
Rich
Luetta,
probably just made somebody mad.
when you're on Luetta, you don't move you don't move.
The best thing I've seen recently was on 99, a Tesla pulled over on the side of the road, a small generator and 2 gas cans. I thought, oh man, the irony.
There's a company out there's a terrorist group out there called Tire Changer or something. They're going out and they're slashing tires of all the SUVs. They just hit New York.
Really?
Yeah, what they do is they slash the tires because you're killing them. With your gas guzzler, but they're hitting hybrids and electric cars too because they have a carbon footprint. So it's all about taking public transit. I can't remember what it's called. It's TYRE. But that's interesting. They hit New Zealand and all that, but they just hit New York and got about 47 SUVs and slashed all their tires.
Never mind the carbon footprint it takes to recycle the tires that have been slashed and produce the tires that have to be put back on the car.
Stop critical thinking.
Yeah,
Would you stop with your critical thinking, Brent?
Come on, it's Friday. It's a long weekend.
You know, Spock would be like hung from his
head would
toenails
explode.
and hung from it. Yeah. So this is a survey courtesy of Brett Aarons at MarketWatch, but this is pretty interesting. This is a company out there called Anytime Estimate. It's a home financing and real estate website, and they're asking about how prepared Americans are for retirement. So it's about 1,000 working Americans conducted. Said that less than half of those surveyed have saved $100,000. Median age of 60, average savings of around $112,000. This is the funniest part. 1/4 of those surveyed, 30% of millennials, said they were planning to rely on cryptocurrencies to finance some of their golden years. Oh, that's golden. That's some golden year right there. So then probably, this is the saddest part of the survey, 80% of people expected to see their living standards fall in retirement. 10% feared they will not be able to retire at all. So,
we look at all these different surveys that are out there, and there's plenty of them, but they're all saying pretty much the same thing. I mean, we know what the median and average 401k or retirement savings is. We know what people have in the bank, and it's not enough. So what's going to be done to get people from here to there? And are we going to see the tiny home, agenda that you're waiting for? Have you invested in a large tiny home lot? Is that what's going on?
I'd love to do that. Listen, tiny homes are the bomb, man. I'm telling you, I wrote about it in my book 10 years ago, and I said this would be a big trend. And I don't know how seniors, older Americans, are going to live. Many of them, I think it was over 60%, are going to be alone. A lot of them are going to be women. And you're going to have some form of communal living, smaller living.
That's it. I mean, that is it, right?
Yeah, I don't know how else you do it, Danny. I mean, listen, we always say you don't know what your number is for retirement. I know we have clients that have less than what you would believe, and their retirements are fine. But these are like masterly crafted. They're not. They have Social Security. They work longer. They have a part-time job. Their house is paid off. They might use reverse mortgage. They have some form of guaranteed income. They're cobbling together a lifestyle. But it's planned, and they're happy. But, everybody's retirement's going to look different because of these numbers and the retirement reality of people, I think, Danny, working longer, whether it's in the current position or a part-time job, just to keep cash flow, which is the lifeblood of retirement, moving.
I'll tell you what, we talk about the bad numbers. We talk about what people are going to have to do, changes that need to be made. But I have visited with 2 people this week, 2 clients in their 50s, retiring. It's like, we're getting out of the rat race. We're done.
They're done.
And man, I mean, talk about so happy and proud on the other side of the table that you can look at somebody and say, you've done all the right work. You've done all of these things to get you there. But it wasn't easy. And, these were the people who were the millionaire next door that nobody knew about, but they kept socking away. They lived well beneath their means. And now they're going to be able to enjoy it.
That is still, if you have high school kids, that is still one of the best books.
It is.
For them to read. The Millionaire Next Door. I will tell you, every one of those habits are admirable. Delayed gratification, living below their means. I mean, they need a revision of that book, I think. I mean, but that book itself stands alone as far as the information and the rules and the experiences that are listed.
Maybe need some rules around crypto in there.
Yeah, don't
Would that
depend
be the
on
update?
Crypto for retirement. What are you drinking? Oh, my God.
You know what I haven't seen lately?
What?
I haven't seen any of those E-Trade commercials.
I haven't seen E-Trade commercials, and I haven't really seen any real crypto commercials. I haven't seen the Matt Damon one,
Well, I'm
Or
just
that-
talking about the commercials in general where they're walking to their jet. You can have this lifestyle
Oh, no,
too.
those are gone.
Or their big yacht.
Yeah, no, those are...
I missed the E-Trade baby.
That was the best.
It was probably grown up by now.
Yeah. Where is the E-Trade
But
baby?
it is
Who can
funny,
find that?
to Danny's point, if you're sensitive to the ebb and flow of commercials during market cycles, it is really amazing to see what totally disappears. And E-Trade has absolutely totally disappeared.
It has. Well,
And a lot of these crypto commercials every darn minute with what that basketball player, whatever his name is, and, Matt Damon, those are gone. It's, yeah. The scariest part, Danny, was during the financial crisis. You know how many auto commercials there are, right? Every minute there's like an automobile commercial on just regular TV. They all went away. Like I didn't see one automobile commercial through that whole process. Like people were hunkering down and all that. Crypto for retirement sounds like an activist group. Yeah, 3D. It does, doesn't it? Like that tire slashing group.
Well, who needs a car when you're locked down?
Yeah.
Well,
know?
good point Rolf made on the YouTube channel. Says now gold is the go-to asset. And, in times of volatility, that seems to be what everybody flocks to. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked as well as what it historically has, at least not up to this point.
And Danny, if we're correct, now listen, it's really great to sit across from clients and say, and they go, Rich, should we hold back our spending? Should we not take this trip? And you run their plans, and they're incredibly successful because we built this kind of turbulence in. And our forward-looking returns for asset classes like stocks and bonds are much lower. We did this back in 2019, and like I always looked stupid for a few years. But if we're right that you're going to be in this secular stagnation for asset price returns, then, financial discipline, maximizing guaranteed income, working longer, there are going to be things that you are going to have to do to retire. If we're wrong about this secular stagnation in asset class returns, and you still had all those habits, well, we did a good thing. And I would rather have this conversation with you, Danny, that, hey, well, first, your plan's not interrupted. You could take this trip. I have clients that didn't want to take this trip to Alaska and other things and I said, no, it's in the plan. It's in the plan and their plan works. So go enjoy your trip. I'd rather have that discussion than, oh my gosh, this is what just happened here.
Well, I'm
We
having
need
a
to
lot
make
of
a
those
big
discussions,
change.
right? And we're having those exact discussions. We're saying, hey, you have big plans this summer? No, heck no. We're not doing anything. We're battening down the hatches. We're hunkering down. And many times we can look at the plan and say, you know what? And look, I always think that's a great idea when you can do it. But I don't want you to be people to be distressed about it either. Like if you're good with that and you're okay with that mindset, hey, great. But many times we do run that plan and say, hey, you're in great shape. And I think that's a really nice thing for people to have that sense of a little bit of sense of peace in that aspect, that you don't have to stay up at night. You don't have to worry about this so much. And look, it doesn't feel good for anybody when you're down. I tell people all the time, look, we're down much less than the benchmarks, but at the it's no consolation prize. You're still
There
down.
is no right. It's just like, you're bleeding less
Correct.
than somebody else. But what's nice is when you can go back to a financial plan and those numbers are not phased. In other words, no, we've built it for this. Your financial discipline fits perfect in this. And you're still fine. Your numbers haven't budged. They're still highly successful. That's a sense of relief. If you want to cut spending, now I've had people come to me and say, Rich, I'm still looking at my budget. I'm still thinking about cutting my withdrawal. Great. If you want to do that, that's fine. But it's in your control. You don't have to do that, Danny. You don't have to. This is a choice. I have one client says, I think I'm going to go back to work. I said, why? Well, you don't need the money. If you want to go back to work to be emotionally engaged, be more social. You want a little spending cash above and beyond, that's fine. But you don't have to. That's the best conversations that I can have.
But the people who are historically some of the better people in retirement, in the sense of they plan this, they know this, and they're willing to do those things, they're typically way better off.
Yes.
It's a whole lot of better there.
Yeah. We get back. We're going to continue on these topics here on Financial Fitness Friday. Stay tuned.
Get daily investment news you can use, delivered at the speed of the internet at realinvestmentadvice.com.